and welcome to Oweleketv News. I am Confidence Oko and thanks for joining us. Now the news headlines. International Relations reports that global hunger affected 258 million people in 2022. President Muhammadu Buhari unveils Nigeria's 2050 agenda. First batch of 354 stranded Nigerians to arrive Abuja today. Arsenal and their supporters are not going quiet in the Premier League title. Russia says Ukraine attempts killing Putin in drone attack. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Now the news in full. According to an analysis by international organizations, people suffering from hunger as well as those experiencing food insecurity rose worldwide in 2022. The report, which was released on Wednesday, the 3rd of May, found about 250 million people experienced acute hunger or suffered from acute famine in 2022. When compared to 2021, the number of people classified as those affected by the highest levels of food insecurity increased from 193 million to 258 million. According to the report, around 35 million people were affected by humanitarian emergencies, Phase 4 in 2022. The report also had contributions from the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, and the United Nations World Food Programme, WFP. Food crises and famine emergencies are measured using the 5-level Integrated Food Security Phase Classification Scale, where Phase 3 signifies acute hunger. The report also found that around 376,000 people suffered famine, which is the highest level, Phase 5. Experts, however, warn that the real number of those affected is almost certainly significantly higher because of incomplete data. President Muhammadu Buhari has unveiled Nigeria Agenda 2050, a plan he said is aimed at increasing real gross domestic product growth by 7%. The agenda was launched shortly before the week's Federal Executive Council (FEC) meeting at the council chambers of the Presidential Villa in Abuja on Wednesday, the 3rd of May 2023. This revelation is coming barely 2 months after the Federal Economic Council approved the policy document on March 15 and nearly 3 months after the National Economic Council endorsed the agenda. Buhari, who will vacate office as Nigeria's president on May 29th for the incoming administration, said the agenda would create at least 165 million new jobs and reduce the number of Nigerians living in poverty from the 83 million estimated in 2020 to 2.1 million by 2050. At the launch, the Nigerian leader said the vision is a product of a dynamic knowledge-based economy to provide sustainable development by 2023. This is coming barely 2 months after the FEC approved the policy document on March 15 and nearly 3 months after the National Economic Council endorsed the agenda. We'll now be going on a short break. Please stay tuned. back and thanks for staying with us. A good number of stranded Nigerians are expected to be evacuated successfully from war-prone Sudan on Wednesday via flights that have been waiting for days to return the evacuees. This is coming after the challenges that arose from passing through Cairo, Egypt, were addressed. House of Rep Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, however, said lawmakers would look into the reasons behind Egyptian authorities and their diplomatic stance over the evacuation of affected Nigerians. Gbajabiamila also disclosed that the House would examine and eliminate the confusion surrounding the roles and jurisdiction of relevant ministries and agencies in the management crisis. He further stated that no room should be given to jeopardize efforts of the federal government to safely evacuate Nigerians from the war-torn country. He assured Nigerians that the House would look into the matter and ensure that there are no repeat performance. He also expressed happiness over the fact that 5,500 Nigerians willing to leave Khartoum have been evacuated and are on their way home to Nigeria. And now over to sports news. Arsenal and their supporters are not going quietly in the Premier League title race, as the taunts of those labeling Mikel Arteta's sides as chokers were thrown back into the face of dismal Chelsea. There is no doubt the odds are against Arsenal taking the crown off reigning champions Manchester City, despite an outstanding performance in the 3-1 win at Emirates Stadium that puts them back at the top and 2 points clear. Manchester City still have 2 games in hand and are on one of their relentless marches, but Arsenal, especially in the first half, delivered a timely reminder that they are still in the hunt. It is an emotion clearly shared by their supporters, despite that recent slump of 4 games without a win. The Emirates was alive before kickoff, and Arsenal ripped into Chelsea in a thunderous atmosphere without a hint of anxiety or frustration, helped by a complete fiasco of a performance from opponents who have lost 6 out of 6 under interim manager Frank Lampard. It is too simplistic to attach the label of chokers to an Arsenal side who have been outstanding this season. They have been undone by individual errors and lapses of concentration rather than a collective meltdown under pressure. Arsenal undoubtedly caved in at Manchester City last time out, losing 4-1, but they were hit by a lightning bolt of a display from a world-class team that may well have beaten anyone on a magical night at Etihad Stadium. We will now be going on a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break and thanks for staying with us. Now from the international space. The Russian government has accused Ukraine of attempting to assassinate its president, Vladimir Putin, in a drone attack, according to Russian news agency. According to the reports, 2 Ukraine drones laden with explosives flew over the Kremlin with the aim of being detonated if the Russian leader was inside the building. However, the drones were forced to land with electronic jamming devices. The news further stated that Putin is safe and sound, noting that Russia would definitely respond to the latest provocation by Ukraine. And that's a wrap for the news on Oweleketv today. But before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. International Relations reports that global hunger affected 258 million people in 2022. President Muhammadu Buhari unveils Nigeria 2050 agenda. First batch of 354 stranded Nigerians to arrive Abuja today. Arsenal and their supporters are not going quiet in the Premier League title. Russia says Ukraine attempts killing Putin in drone attack. Don't forget to follow us on our social media handles displayed on your TV screen for all your adverts and inquiries. I am Confidence Oko. Till I come your way again with another interesting news. Stay safe and thanks for being with us.